Every year, millions of tons of powdered milk are produced around the world. It is a product found in breakfast tables, bakeries, and chocolate factories. But behind this white powder lies a vast chain of effort that begins long before the machines. It all starts in the countryside. In the early hours of the morning, as the sun begins to rise, work is already underway on dairy farms. Each cow produces an average of 30 liters of milk per day, following a precise rhythm: milking, cooling, and transportation. Today, most of it is done mechanically. Automated milking systems collect the milk quickly and hygienically, sending it straight into stainless steel tanks. These tanks have one vital mission, and to cool the milk down to about 4 degrees Celsius. Why? Because milk is a living food. The longer it stays warm, the faster it spoils. Cold is its first line of defense. As soon as milking ends, the refrigerated tankers take over. They are like mobile steel safes, capable of carrying up to 25,000 liters of milk while keeping the perfect temperature. The drivers are not just transporters. They are trained professionals who ensure the milk arrives intact, clean, and on time. Raw milk cannot wait. That is why the entire trip from farm to factory happens within a few hours. A silent race against time and heat. And when the tanker finally arrives at the factory, it crosses an invisible border from something natural and alive to a world ruled by precision and control. Before any machinery starts running, technicians test the milk for acidity, temperature, fat content, and purity. Only after approval does it enter enormous storage tanks. Some can hold up to 60,000 liters. Then comes the real beginning of transformation: standardization. This process ensures that every batch of milk will be identical, regardless of season, climate, or farm. High-speed centrifuges spin the milk, separating its components: the cream, which contains the fat, and the skim milk, with less fat. Computers then recombine these parts in exact proportions. More cream for whole milk, less for semi-skimmed, almost none for skimmed. Everything is measured, calculated, and automated, but always monitored by engineers who adjust flavor and texture to meet specifications. To standardize nature is not to suppress it, but to translate it into reliability. Purification: the balance of heat and cold. Once standardized, the milk must be made perfectly safe to consume. This is where pasteurization comes in. The milk flows through heat exchangers that raise its temperature quickly to somewhere between 72 and 85 degrees Celsius, and then cool it back down to 4 degrees in seconds. This sudden change kills bacteria without cooking the milk, preserving its flavor, nutrients, and structure. Everything happens inside sealed stainless steel systems, no direct human contact. Sensors monitor every variable: temperature, pressure, and time. Every detail is recorded, meaning each batch can be traced from the farm to the package. Here, trust is not a slogan. It is the result of method, heat, and science. Evaporation. When milk loses to become more, next comes one of the most fascinating stages: evaporation. The goal is simple yet brilliant. Remove part of the water to concentrate everything that truly matters: proteins, minerals, and vitamins. The process takes place in tall vacuum evaporators. Inside, the milk is gently heated to around 45 degrees Celsius, while the air pressure is lowered. This makes the water evaporate at a lower temperature, preserving nutrition. Within minutes, the milk loses nearly half its volume, turning into a thick, creamy concentrate. Nothing is wasted. The steam released is reused to heat new batches, making the process both efficient and sustainable. The factory functions like a living organism. Heat from one stage powers the next. At the end, the milk is denser, richer, and ready for its most dramatic transformation: turning into powder, drying, the birth of the white powder. Now comes the highlight of industrial engineering: spray drying. The concentrated milk is pumped into a massive tower, sometimes over 30 meters high. Inside, the liquid is atomized into millions of tiny droplets that meet a current of hot air reaching about 200 degrees Celsius. But the milk does not burn. The air never touches the metal surfaces directly. Instead, it circulates, evaporating the water within seconds. The air rises, the powder falls, and what leaves the base of the tower is milk in its lightest, most durable form. Then the powder goes through vibrating sieves that ensure uniform grain size, so it dissolves easily when mixed with water. Every part of this process is automated, with sensors controlling temperature, airflow, and humidity. The goal is simple: perfect texture and flavor. Batch after batch, behind every spoon of powdered milk lies physics, chemistry, and human precision. Quality control. Trust built on routine. Even after drying, the milk is not ready to leave the factory. It must pass through strict laboratory testing. Every half hour, samples are collected and analyzed for moisture, color, and solubility. Technicians, experienced and meticulous, can tell by sight or touch if something is off. It is science guided by human intuition. Moisture levels must stay within narrow limits. The color must remain consistent, and the powder must dissolve completely in water. If any test fails, production pauses for adjustment. Results are stored digitally: date, time, operator, and data logs. Even in a world of machines, human judgment has the final word. In the end, trust comes from repetition, discipline, and care. Packaging. Sealing time with the product approved. It is time for the final step: packaging. The dry powder flows through sealed pipes into automated fillers that measure and pack the exact amount into each container. No open air, no human touch, only precision. Packages can be industrial bags, metal cans, or plastic jars, all sterilized beforehand. Once filled, they are hermetically sealed to block air and moisture. That is the secret behind powdered milk's long shelf life. It is completely isolated from the outside world. After sealing, each package receives an automatic label with the batch number, manufacturing date, expiration date, and nutrition facts. Every label is a signature, a link between the food and its origin. Finally, everything is boxed, stacked, and prepared for shipment. Tons of powdered milk leave these factories every day, heading to bakeries, markets, and industries across Brazil and beyond. When the day ends and the machines slow down, only the hum of the factory remains, and the quiet satisfaction of those who turned a perishable food into something that can feed the world.